Welcome to the Owner's Box. I'm Vince J.
And I'm CameraMan Carl.
Yeah. Don't ask us why B.Scott isn't here and why we got this knucklehead over here. Anyway, this week we're going to talk about the waiver wire gym. So you guys who are trying to, if you're at the bottom of your league, trying to make your way up, I'm kind of one of those guys who's down in a couple of those leagues. I don't know why you want to listen to me, but it's just been a topsy-turvy year. It's a topsy-turvy year. That's all it is. All the guys that you expected to do well are not doing well. I mean, Tom Brady's outside of the top 10 in quarterbacks. You feel me?
Yep. Blame on the refs.
Huh? Blame on the... Oh! Yeah, those replacement reps. Oh, we're going to talk about that, but not today. We're going to talk about that another time. So, getting into our first guy that we want to talk about is Christian Ponder. Now, you brought that up in the pre-show meeting today.
I liked him. He's looking really good. His performance last week really intrigued me, and his schedule is very favorable for him to perform well. He's going up against the next 3 weeks. He's going up against Detroit, Tennessee, and Washington. And those are all teams that allow you to put up some points. So for a quarterback, I think that's very favorable for Christian Ponder.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna go out there on a limb and say Carson Palmer. I've been talking big smack about Carson Palmer all year. I know, but Carson Palmer, as quiet as it's kept, is number 7 in leagues this year.
How did that happen?
Ha! That's what you get. You got to listen to my show. You know?
Well, I got to agree. Carson Palmer's looking good.
He's not bad. I mean, you got to think about the running back situation, all of those weapons he has. I mean, with DHB being hurt, you know, that's going to take a little time. And Darius, we hope that you are doing well, man. Brother, come on back. We need you, for sure. And then the rest of the guys, they're not bad. They're young. He's got a bunch of young wide receivers over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now he's playing Denver this week, and you know they're due for a win.
They may be due for a win, but I mean, for such a good defense, people have been putting up points on them.
Yeah.
So you know, you cannot do their 26th, the 26th ranked defense right now. Really? Yeah. So, their defense. This is what the other defenses have done against them: 15 points, 17 fantasy points, and 25 fantasy points. And that's Houston.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So. Talk about that. Moving right along, you got Shaun Hill. Shaun Hill this week with he's actually going to be riding pine this week. So just letting you know, if you've got him, sit him. Keep an eye on him though, because I've liked him for the last couple of years. You know, when Stafford was out, Shaun always came in and played. You know what I mean?
Done good, but I definitely agree. I bench him this week. And also, I would bench Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. Don't fall for the flam because he's had 3 good weeks, but that was against 3 bad teams.
Right.
Now he's got 3 great teams he's going up against. So
okay. I don't want to say this may not come out of my mouth, but Kevin Kolb. Oh, man.
Shut the people up in Philadelphia.
Oh, man. I mean, obviously winning the job, losing the job, and then winning it back, and then being reaffirmed this week must have done something to him. He might be a guy that I would probably put on the end of my bench, and maybe in if you need somebody this week or the week of a bye, I'd probably slide him in there. But also, let's watch his upside. He has one of the best wide receivers in the game. Beanie Wells is a running back. Williams is a running back. So we'll have to see how they put that team together. And if he can put the team on his back, we'll see how things go. Moving on into the weakest. Oh, my gosh. You cannot find It's a needle in a haystack with running backs right now.
It's very, very slim.
Oh.
I found nobody that I really felt confident about saying pick him up. But
since we got to, since we have to, the fellas that are watching this show, if you're in a deep league, should you take any of these guys? Otherwise, I'm gonna say caution. Caution for taking any of these guys right now, okay? Andre Brown from the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, he's great. He did an amazing job, but going into this week,
with Bradshaw,
it looks like Bradshaw will be back.
Yeah, Bradshaw's back, so you gotta go with that. Then you've got we just talked about Ryan Williams, and he laid one out on the ground. Not the first game I think it was, he had a fumble. Not in the doghouse, but I mean him and Beanie Wells. I like Ryan Williams, but he lost that whole first year.
Right.
And now this is basically his rookie year, and it's showing that it's his rookie year. I mean, you could say mental reps, but that doesn't do anything for what's on the field. So that's where I'm going with that.
Jack for my fantasy score.
I know, right? Now I picked up Leshore from Detroit on every team I could 2 weeks ago.
So is he playing this weekend?
He's starting. Oh yeah. Well, it does say questionable. It's a hamstring situation. I think that he'll go. He'll go. I mean, your other alternative is Smith. Yeah. Which is decent.
Bell. Now I like Bell. He's been consistently putting up 6 points a week. And
6 points.
I think with this week coming up,
single digits.
Yeah, single digits, but in a league, some weeks my running back doesn't play at all, and I didn't even realize it until game time. I'll take the 6 points. I'll take it. Man,
we're taking too much time on these whack running backs, but I am going to say two more, and that's Lamar, Miller, and then Daniel Thomas down there in Miami, just in case. We don't, since it looks like Reggie Bush is going to start. Just keep an eye on that. If I were the Miami Dolphins, I would probably hold Bush out if it were me. Yeah. That's your best guy, and he's somebody that you can put out there on trade bait and maybe get picks for later if it were me.
I agree.
So you teams like the Falcons, y'all might need, or the Steelers, y'all might want to. Anyway, moving on. Let's get on in there to the wide receivers. Ramsey's Barden. He showed us something last week.
Yes, he did.
Now, Nix is out again. Barden is on the other side of Cruz. What do you think?
I think he's going to put up some numbers. I think it's going to be a very good week for him. He's gone up against a defense that has not been doing very well. And I think Phil's just going to, Eli's going to pass it around this week.
Okay. Now I'm going to move over there to the Jets. I know the Jets are a woeful team. To me, I mean, they really look terrible. But Jeremy Kerley, who? He's from what Scott would say, the Woodsy Owl Club. Who is he? He's been flying under the radar. I saw him last year in a game and said, wow, who is that guy? Didn't know who he was. Some rookie. I don't know where he's from, but he's still flying under the radar. He's a good guy. He is, let me look at his numbers under the wide receivers. Not doing bad. Kerley is in the top 15 wide receivers. For an unknown and you need somebody, he's owned in about 18%.
Yeah, 18%.
So
that's not bad. That is a gem.
So you got to pick him up. Yeah, somebody nobody knows. Put him at the end of your bench. Actually, this might be a great week to play him. You know what I mean? Yeah, this week.
He's coming up against San Francisco. I don't know, Vince.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. But okay, but they got torched last week. Am I right about that?
Yeah, they got torched by Minnesota, so I don't know. I think San Francisco's got a chip on their shoulder. He's a harbor. I don't know.
Let me tell you why I think this week might be something. Because Stephen Hill is out.
Okay.
That means he moves to the number 2 spot, and on the other side of home. So, but I mean, look at who's throwing to him. So moving off of that, just based on who's throwing to him, right? Then you've got Jerome Simpson, who's coming back off of suspension. Nobody is seeing who. Pick him up tonight.
Watching him, that's definitely a pickup.
Pick him up tonight. You remember him flipping over somebody for a touchdown down there in the Cincinnati Bengals, right?
That's still on the highlights.
Exactly. That is a guy. You can tell he's got athleticism. He's got hands. Christian Ponder throwing the ball to him. That's who we were talking about earlier with Christian Ponder. Possibly he's on the other side of your boy. Who we're not going to talk about that either, huh? Okay, gonna leave that alone. Tttus Young and you were talking about Burleson.
Yeah, Nate Burleson, I think is a good pickup. He is not owned in more than 44% of the leagues. I think he's a good pickup. He's been showing promise. I also like Brandon LaFell.
Okay, got that. Okay,
not this week. But I say you pick him up because he might surprise you playing against Atlanta's defense.
He could.
Bell has consistently been one of Cam Newton's favorite targets, and whenever Steve Smith is covered, he's really the only other guy he can go to.
Steve Smith is always covered. What are you talking about? Okay. Move right on into the tight ends. My hot pickup tonight, Heath Miller.
Yeah.
This is a bye week. I get that. I totally get that. But this will pay off big for you. Touchdowns almost every week. He's been dropped by half the leagues. Did you understand? Do you understand what I mean? Yeah.
People don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I believe that they had to use Pitta on the line this week because of who they were playing. And that's the only reason. I believe that Pitta will show up the next few weeks. And if nothing else, he's Joe Flacco's best friend off the field. So he's not going to shut his best friend out the rest of the year.
The quick little note on the Pitta situation is I think it's because of Bolden has not really been a major factor since he's been in Baltimore. And that was the big reason. Without Bolden being anyone that you would take advantage of, I think they concentrated on Pitta because he's been showing out. Now this is going to open Pitta up when people start to.
Right.
You cannot double team Pitta anymore. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they did throw to him. He had an opportunity for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Just
fell down. Well, there it is. So moving on into the defenses. Well, we fought a little bit over this one.
Yeah. Defense it's tough. I like Arizona. I'm an Arizona believer. I know you're not a believer in Arizona yet, Vince, but I believe some teams can turn it around, and Arizona has turned it around. They have played some pretty good teams, and they look very good.
Wow. I will say they have moved up, and they're quietly. Now, it could be the division that they're in. That may have a little something to do with it, too. And then, special teams, oh, my gosh. They could run it back at any time, honestly. I mean, they've been picking balls off. Really, that's not a bad team. It's just Arizona.
And check this out. One of the ways you score defense is by not allowing points on the board. If you have an offense that's humming like Kevin Kolb has this offense, the backup quarterback got him doing, the defense is not going to be on this field that much.
Kevin Kolb, really?
So I really like Arizona.
Wow.
They've got the weapons on the offense to keep the defense fresh throughout the game. So their job.
I can't agree with that. But moving on into the There's really nobody else out there. This is another tight section right here. I mean, you can go out. Really, you can probably pick out one of these terrible defenses and play the matchup. That's all I'm gonna say. Really, honestly, it's tough. It's really gonna be tough. Move on in there to kickers. Now, kickers is an interesting thing. People are sleeping on kickers. They just pick up a kicker and don't care.
I totally agree.
Kickers are getting 15 points more than some of the running backs.
That's right.
So, Jason Hanson, #1 guy, is how owned is he?
He is owned in only 48% of the leagues. He's the #1 kicker in NFL.
Yeah, he definitely should be picked up in every doggone league. I mean, Detroit is they're scoring some.
They're gonna get to the red zone.
Yeah, they're at least getting there,
Yeah.
and they believe in him. So Lawrence, Tynes, and then you got Gostowski.
Yeah.
Well, Gostowski is 100% owned, but
Tynes
Tynes
is less than even Hanson.
Yeah, Tynes is only 19%. So #2 guy, the Giants.
When you're losing in a league, like I almost lost by 1 point last week. If I had looked at the kickers, I could have been sitting pretty.
Especially at 20 points. 20 points. I mean, Matt Ryan had 20 something the other day. So 20 points is, dude, that's really good for sure. Well, we're about to wrap this up in a second. Now, Justin Tucker and Blair Walsh, 2 other kickers that you could possibly pick up. No need to spend a whole lot of time. Do your research on your kickers. That's all I can say. And that could be that actually could help you win, like you said, that beat somebody by a point.
That's right.
Well, that about does it for the waiver wire pickup. Hey, thanks for sitting in here, Mr. Carl, CameraMan Carl.
No problem. Anytime, Mr. Cool J.
All right, I will. We'll have to Skype you in another time. So that about does it for us. I'm Vince J.
And I'm CameraMan Carl.
And we are out. Peace out.